Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source of all things Everton. We're back with some news about Michy Batshuayi, who's been linked with Everton in the past, but he's just been linked with Everton recently because his loan spell has just been terminated by Chelsea, his parent club. The news has come from the Daily Mirror, so I'm going to read out Dominic King's quote that he came up with on Twitter, at @DominicKing_DM. He says, Everton are interested in Chelsea striker Michy Batshuayi. Batshuayi's loan deal at Valencia ended earlier today. A loan deal for the striker would have to be permanent, or a permanent deal for Kurt Zuma would need to be made, obviously because of the rules there, meaning that we can't have them both on loan from Chelsea. So there's been prices quoted in the report also. The Mirror said he was 14 million rated, so a lot of people have been saying like 14 million. That's a good price for the lad, because he's only scored 3 goals in 23 games for Valencia, so it hasn't been a successful loan spell. And he didn't have the greatest of World Cups. He missed quite a few sitters at the World Cup, and then he was famous for that when I think it was possibly Lukaku who'd scored, and then Batshuayi tried to follow it up and just pinged it wide. I think it hit him in the face at the World Cup. So he's whether he's in good form, he's 25 years old, so he's coming to a stage in his career where he's got to be hitting some form, and he's got to, I suppose he'd be looking for a permanent deal as well. You can't be just loaned out all the time, because it's clear that he probably doesn't have a future at Chelsea despite their strike problems at the moment, so they might be looking to send them away again. So we've put a poll out anyway saying, would you want Michy Batshuayi at Everton? And 83% of you said yes, with only 17% saying no. So the response is pretty positive. That's from 1,378 votes just an hour or so ago. So it's overwhelmingly positive, more positive than expected, to be honest. With Batshuayi, obviously we've got our striker problems ourselves, but Batshuayi, I suppose for our level, that's a good kind of striker to aim at. Just read out some of the comments as well. Alpha Alien 2 says, would have a lease of life at Everton. Better than any option we have at the minute, and for 14 million, well worth the gamble. I agree with that, to be honest. If it was 14 million, I doubt, I'm not sure if that price is correct, because they said 14 million rated. Whether Chelsea would be giving him away for 14 million is remains to be seen, definitely, but I'm not sure he would be. But if it was 14 million, then it's definitely worth a gamble. ADG says, undecided, to be honest. If we got the Batshuayi of Marseille and Dortmund, the fair dues, but he's gone to a very good Valencia side and struggled, so it's one of them. It's another risk, in my opinion. I agree, to be honest. He showed some form at those clubs mentioned, but he showed some terrible form at other clubs, so it would be a little bit of a gamble whether it worked for at Everton, because we would be putting a lot of hopes on Batshuayi. With our striker problems at the moment, he'd be probably thrust into the first team straight away with a lot of expectation on his shoulders. D&JHD said, absolutely, 14 million is more than reasonable for a very decent striker. Everyone seems to be pretty happy with the price. Tim Bridle says 14 million is a steal. We prefer a loan first, but with Zuma, who knows? Although I wouldn't mind signing Zuma permanently either. I think if we were going to have to make one of them permanent, it would be pretty obvious which one we'd do. Obviously, we'd go for making Zuma permanent first before Batshuayi, because that's less of a gamble. Because Zuma showed that he's a very solid centre back, and I think Silva will be looking to make that deal permanent before maybe going in for Michy Batshuayi. But if it is 14 million, and if that price is correct, then it might be Batshuayi becoming a permanent instead. Just a couple more comments I'll read out. Lee Brown at Brown6 says, should be aiming for better players than that instead of mediocre players. I agree to an extent, but then kind of what striker should we be going for? We're a team who's in the scrap for 7th place. We've got no European football to offer, and for Batshuayi to come to Everton, I think would be one of the better strikers that are available to us at the moment. There's not too many names that have been mentioned otherwise. The likes of Callum Wilson maybe, but he's a target for Chelsea as well. So even that level of striker has improved to possibly be beyond us. So I think Batshuayi is a good level of striker to go for. GD at Runner Glynn says, yes, defo, Fox in the box type, a better option than fellas like Abraham, who's been mentioned. Yeah, Abraham didn't really cut it at Swansea last season on loan, but he showed some form at Aston Villa. But I do think Batshuayi is a better striker than Abraham is at the moment anyway. He's definitely a little bit older, 25 years old. There's some negative comments, but 8 goals and 47 appearances for Chelsea and Valencia, says Ray Weir. So it's not a great record, is it? But I think most of those Chelsea appearances were off the bench, and I suppose it just hasn't happened for him at Valencia. But hopefully he could revive his career at Everton. One more comment. I have no ideas. There's some crazy Twitter tags here. Yes, I wanted him when we sold Lukaku. He's a similar player to Lukaku, I was thinking, to be honest, because he's obviously Belgian, and he's similar build, athletic build. Well, back in the day when Lukaku was that kind of build, he was anyway. So he seemed like the next kind of Lukaku when he was coming onto the scene. So maybe that would be a sensible move. So it's an interesting one. But please let us know as always what you think in the comments. Whether we should go for Batshuayi, and also whether if it were a decision between making Zuma permanent or signing Batshuayi on a permanent deal, what you would do. Also, we'd love to know. So let us know in the comments, and like the video and subscribe to the Toffee Blues. And join us next time. Thanks for watching.